Alright, here we go. I really hope the audio works this time. Good evening, everybody. We are continuing our journey into the Forgotten City. One moment. Let me make sure everything is good to go here. Alright, so just a little recap of what happened the last time. So let's turn down that music volume a little bit. There we go. That's a little loud. Yes. So just a little recap of what happened last time. We have discovered an underground city 2,000 years old, and we can travel through time. So our goal is to travel through time as many times as we need to fix or find out whatever is going on here. And where we left off last time, we had fallen through a temple into some underground thing. And this is going to be the part of the game that really, the only part that kind of has any combat. And it's very unnerving and very disturbing. So if you don't like horror and you don't like jump scares, they're really not that bad, but it can get a little graphic. So let's get this loaded. I just have to remove my cat because he likes to take up space. It should pick up right where we left off. Okay, good. Alright. Oh, you can hear me. Awesome. Awesome. I was hoping I wasn't just talking to myself. Okay. Flashlight. Yes, we want golden bow. Familiarize myself with the controls here. Oh, and by the way, all of that stuff that we stole, if I remember how to get to my inventory. Oops. There we go. Since the lady we were talking to was not the nicest person, I stole her money, then went back and got into like a little secret area. So we're rolling in some denarii right now. It's all up to us. Okay, creepy disembodied voice. Come on. Yep. Stop. Stop looking at me. And if you've never heard of this game before, The Forgotten City, what it is it was a Skyrim mod at some point. So if some of these like graphics and controls look a little familiar, somebody had turned some Dwemer ruins into a Skyrim mod, and then it just went into development of its own game. Alright, Nevaeh's journal number 1.
My beloved Galatea, I write this so that one day, when we're finally together, you will understand what I've done and why I had to do it. The others will call me mad or a monster, but I don't care what they think. Everything I'm doing here, I'm doing for you. I'll start at the beginning. Soon after my arrival here, as I walked down a corridor lined with golden statues, I thought I heard a whisper behind me. A rasp of air, as if vocal cords of metal strained to say a word or two. I tried to dismiss the idea, tried to concentrate on my work as the city's medic, but that tortured whisper haunted me. Weeks later, in the hallway to the bathhouse, I heard it again and found myself drawn to the statue of a Roman woman wearing a stola. Her face was contorted with anguish and fear, and disturbingly, it was as if she was looking right at me.
There we go.
As I walked past her, I heard that strained whisper again, and turning back, I discovered that even though I had moved, she was still looking right into my soul. That was when it dawned on me. This was no statue. This was a woman trapped within that golden prison. Naturally, I told the others, but when I could not reproduce the results of my experiment, they would not believe me. But from that moment on, I knew the full horror of this place. Immobilized within these statues are living human beings. It was that day, my love, that my heart broke.
That's great. Alright. Oh, my headset did something weird. Can you still hear me? Okay, cool. Alright. Loading. So this lady was crazy for a statue girl. Okay. Named her and everything. Cool, we found our way into the palace. Now I have played this before, and I can't remember exactly when things start jumping out at you. So I'm just gonna draw my bow and walk slowly. As all these statues keep freaking looking at me. There we go. Get out of my way. This is not okay. Headshot. Get off me! Anybody else? I'll just take that, and I'll take that. Y'all ain't using it.
You're not supposed to be here.
going down there, are we? Lovely. Only slightly disturbing. Crap. Headshot. And I missed my headshot. Shit. Okay, let's see how my jumping skills are. Nope. Okay, try again. Oh, okay. Nope, I already did that. Take that. I'm not like trying to speed run this or anything, but this part is extremely disturbing. I'm just trying to get through it as quickly as possible. Are you done? Okay. Y'all stop looking at me! Oh, I did that a little prematurely. Crap. Crap. moving. Okay, I messed that up. What you're supposed to do is distract them into the water and freeze them all at the same time. But we didn't do that. That's okay. Hi. Okay, this is a little graphic. Key to the palace doors. We'll take that.
My beloved Galatea, after I learned the terrible truth about the golden statues, I wandered the city as if in a nightmare. What must life be like for these poor souls, entombed in gold, but kept alive somehow? Trapped in their own personal Tartarus, consigned to eternal torment, too horrific for any sane mind to comprehend. I tried to offer them what small mercies I could. I began to talk to them, to keep them company. I'd imagine backstories for them, give them names, and tell them of the world, of the histories and stories I'd learned as a child. As the others became more concerned by my charity, I sought solitude from them, preferring the company of my tormented charges. Discovering a way into the abandoned palace, I began to spend my days walking its halls and sharing with its occupants ancient tales, my mind turning to those of Apollo and Daphne, Perseus and Medusa, and Pygmalion and Galatea. Pygmalion, the sculptor who fell in love with a beautiful statue, and who, praying to Aphrodite for aid, discovered that his beloved Galatea had come to life. It was then that I heard you whisper to me, Galatea. Forgive me. I know that is not your real name, just one I have borrowed from a story. But when I turned to look at you, I saw the most exquisitely beautiful woman I have ever known. Your face, forever frozen in a look of haunting sadness. Our meeting gave me new purpose, to free you from your golden prison, so that I might one day hear you speak, not just whisper, your true name to me. So I gathered tools for the long and difficult task ahead, barred the doors to this place, and set to work.
Somebody's crazy. Get out of my face! That's what you get. where we need to go? Oh, yes. Alright. Because we're climbing a wall with a bow in our hand. Cool. I have the high ground. Crap. That's not how I was supposed to do that, but that's okay.
Kill. Make it stop. You.
Make it stop.
Help us.
Make it stop.
Help us. Help us.
Oh, stop talking to me.
Kill me.
Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Ugh. Just give me money for my troubles. Anything in here? No.
My beloved Galatea, my attempts at freeing these souls. My beloved Galatea, my attempts at freeing these souls from their golden prisons have not been going to plan. My first charge was a Greek woman who I called Iodame after the Athenian turned to stone by Medusa. Drilling through the gold that encased her, I was vindicated by the discovery that beneath half an inch of gold, which is so rigid it must be some kind of alloy, was living flesh. Unfortunately, this golden alloy seems to have fused with her skin, so removing it exposed the sinew and muscle beneath and appeared to cause her great pain. At first, I braced myself, expecting that inflicting such pain would break the golden rule, and yet, somehow, it did not. It seems whichever god is responsible for imprisoning these poor souls does not care about their suffering at all. They are forsaken. Undeterred, I pressed on, working late into the night, attempting to remove the golden layer that encased her as delicately as I could. Eventually, I was able to free most of her body, but when I released her from her restraints, her first act was to lunge for my throat, clawing at me with all her strength and those sharp metal talons. This was my thanks for trying to save her. Whatever possessed Iodame to attack, she was clearly not a suitable subject for my experiment, and I was forced to lock her inside an isolated wing of the palace and bar the door. As I continued working on others, I could hear her flailing and launching herself at the other side endlessly. Regrettably, my other experiments bore similar results, and after relocating a few times, most of the palace is now too dangerous to work in. Still, as much as my heart aches to know that you're suffering, I cannot risk attempting to ungild you yet. Not until I have perfected a method that will bring you back to me, whole in both mind and body, and ensuring your humanity is preserved. I promise you this. One day we will be together, even if I have to free every last statue in this God's forsaken place.
Gross. This lady's nuts. We just need to get out of here, out of here. I would like to get out of here now. Okay. All right. Oh my God. Ew. You can talk? Who are you? Hi, crazy lady. You must be Nevaeh.
And you must be the wretched snake who broke into my palace and disturbed my experiments. And worst of all, look at what you made me do to her. This never would have happened if you just stayed away. You're going to pay for that.
Okay, hold on. So we have to pick the options that will not lead to a fight. Always pick the peaceful option. If you attack me, we'll both end up encased in gold.
And you think I care about that? I don't care what happens to me, as long as you get what you deserve.
This has nothing to do with
Liar.
me.
I locked and barred the gate. I left a message warning you all to leave me alone. I just wanted to do my experiments in peace, for her. And now look at her. You made me turn the most beautiful woman I've ever seen into this. Look at her. She's in agony. All I wanted was to spend my last moments with her, to see her beautiful face, to hear her speak freely, instead of in those cryptic whispers. But as soon as I began my work, she stopped whispering to me. And now I discover she started whispering to you instead. What's so special about you?
It's not just the statue whispering to me. A lot of them do it, but it's always the same voice.
What do you mean, the same voice?
It's like someone else is whispering to me through the statues.
Yes. I remember when they used to whisper to me. They did sound similar. I just thought it was because all voices sound the same when they whisper. But now that I think about it, they were all benevolent and seemed to share a common knowledge. But if these bodies are mere conduits for that one voice, then this body is nobody. And everything I've done here was... Wait, I see what you're doing. You're trying to steal her away from me. Were you planning to wait until I'd done all the hard work, then swoop in? Is that it?
No, lady. This is your No.
Liar! You tried to steal her away from me, and now look what you made me do. Give me one good reason why I shouldn't peel you too.
I ended up here by accident. All I want to do is leave.
What are you talking about?
I got trapped in tunnels under the city and came up inside the palace.
Wait. So you're saying you weren't coming for us?
Hell no.
So I did all this. I ruined her. For nothing. What have I done? Oh gods, I feel sick. I can't bear the thought of her being like this. And in so much pain. It's the air. Coming into contact with her flesh. It's agonizing for them. But the only way to fix it will be to break the golden rule and let it run its course. At least that way she'd be golden again, and we'd be together. All it would take is one little cut.
Wait, I can undo all of this if you tell me the treatment for rheumatism.
It's too late. There's nothing you can do. I have to do this. I'm sorry.
I can cover her in gold again.
What? How?
The golden bow is the weapon that encases people in gold. This golden bow.
Really?
Get it?
I'm not sure I believe you. But if you can undo this mess, I'll tell you what you need to know. But if you're lying to me, I'll break the golden rule and kill you and everyone else in this city. Understood?
Yes, crazy lady.
You did it. You took away her pain. I don't know what to say. Thank you. Thank you. I swear I will never harm her again. I swear it. I'll stay here to keep her company. But these poor souls, what can be done for them? I've tried everything I can. I fear the only one capable of releasing them properly is whichever god doomed them in the first place. In any case, I must honor our bargain. The treatment for rheumatism is willow bark. I believe there's a pot of it already in the Shrine of Apollo. Now, please leave. The door here leads out onto the palace balcony. You should be able to make your way down from there.
Goodbye.
Go, and never return.
Gladly. Bye. Oh, now that that's over and we're all traumatized. Yeah. Just loading into the next area. That was only slightly disturbing for a game that almost has no combat. Yep. Gone. Thank goodness. Okay, now I gotta talk to this lady. A lot of this stuff can be repetitive because they don't remember talking to me.
Here? Can't you see this woman is dying? She's been poisoned. She needs the resin of a plant called Silphium, but that Culas cumbulatus decius won't give it to me.
I'm sorry, I wish I could help.
It's too late. She just slipped away. She was poisoned. She came in here frothing at the mouth. Normally I'd treat her with resin of Silphium, a rare plant which is perfect for this sort of thing. and I knew Decius had some at his market stall, right around the corner. So I ran over there, but he just looks at me with this evil smile and says, "That'll be 1,000 denarii." There was no way I could afford that, and he knew it. Then that toad shrugs and says, "Supply and demand. I guess you don't value your friend's life that highly." Anywhere else, I'd just pay a thug to steal it from his stall. But there's no way I can do that down here with the golden rule. So all I could do is come back here and just watch her die. I kept on apologizing. And now I'll never know who poisoned her, or how they managed to do it without breaking the golden rule, or why she cursed that snake's cruel black eyes with her dying breath. Well, unless you have the power to bring someone back from the dead, there's really just one thing you can do. Get me that Silphium resin. I'm going to have another patient in here soon. Could be in the next day, or in the next hour. And I will not allow this to happen again. I don't care how you get it, but you have to make it happen. Because if I lose another patient this way, I swear to the gods below, not even the golden rule will stop me from marching up to that Genetricum Fututo and scratching his eyes out.
Oh, language.
Well, come back if you get sick or injured. Day or night, I'll do what I can.
Okay, I need to talk to you.
Feeling all right?
Figured out how to treat
You
rheumatism.
made it into the palace. I'm impressed. How is Nevia?
Crazy! Absolutely off her frickin' mind. But she's alive.
Willowback. I should have known. It was under my nose the whole time. That's very helpful. Thank you. If this works, it should settle Rufius down some. I have some right here. Could you do me a favor and give him some of this? He'll just need to swallow a pinch of it. I'm hoping it will avert disaster.
Alright, thank you.
Thank you. I'm really glad you arrived when you did. Sure. What do you want to know?
Do you think she was poisoned or was it self-inflicted?
Do you really want to know? I mean, if somebody poisoned her, then surely they would have broken the golden rule, and so maybe it's best we don't discuss it.
Do you know what poisoned her?
Hemlock, I believe.
Is there any reason she might have wanted to die?
I haven't seen her in months. She's not allowed to leave Malleolus' villa, and they are quite secretive.
Let's talk about something else.
Gladly.
And I gotta go.
All right. Well, thanks again for helping remove the thorn from the lion's paw. The spirit of Androcles smiles upon you.
Okay, let's go find... what's his name? Grumpy Pants. Somewhere around here. That's the one I haven't talked to yet. Oh. Hey,
Wonder
you!
how much one of these statues is worth on the outside. Hello there, partner. I'm glad you're here. I think there might have been some confusion about my little practical joke earlier. You see, my plan was to give you a little fright. You know, like two friends joking around at the Saturnalia, and then, surprise, I'd open the door. But when I opened it, you were gone.
I don't believe you.
Partner, I swear, this is just a misunderstanding. Look, why don't you keep our bow as compensation?
You mean my bow? Don't worry, I'm keeping it.
Fine, fine. It's a credit to you that you're able to see the humour in all of this. Now, can I help you with something?
What's your story?
You mean, how did I end up here? That is a lengthy tale.
Let's hear it.
All right. Well, you see, I'm in the business of procuring rare and precious objects liberated from the enemies of Rome. Mostly sculptures, vases, the occasional slave. Fetch a magnificent price in Roman high society. Had myself a nice little shop in Rome, just off the Forum. Lots of foot traffic and close to the docks. Good place to be when the fires broke out. See, about 7 months ago, half of Rome caught on fire. Everyone who couldn't get to an outer gate was running for the river, hoping to escape by barge. So I gathered my coins and some priceless vases into a cart and had my most loyal slave girl, pretty young thing named Acantha, push it for me. All the way down to the river, I'm elbowing through a stampede of people, turning back now and then to make sure she hasn't legged it with my valuables. But, to my surprise, we make it, and I see this barge loading up, and it's so full it's almost sinking. But the captain's happy to take my coin, so I start boarding, and then he puts his hand on my chest and he says, "No, too heavy. The cart or the girl." So I did what anyone would have done.
You chose the card, didn't you?
Of course I chose the cart. I mean, I can always buy a new slave girl if I still have my money. So I put my hand on the cart, and I guess she realised what was happening because those pretty black eyes of hers go all wide. And in one swift motion, she topples the whole bloody thing into the Tiber.
I think I see where this is going.
Naturally, I dived in after it, hoping to salvage my fortune. Only, I guess I must have hit my head or something, because everything went black. When I came to, I'd washed up on the riverbank, not far from here, with nothing in the world but a single silver coin.
Commiserations.
Thank you, friend. But it turns out it might have been a stroke of good fortune, because this place is a veritable treasure trove. Look around you, there must be more gold in here than in the treasury of Rome. If I can just figure out how to get it out of here.
Any idea who's starting
I
Virgil?
don't, I'm afraid. But I did overhear Fabia telling Georgius she saw something. Very well. Another time.
We'll get to the election in some other point. Okay. I will get the Sylphum resin, but I'm not paying him for it. I do plan to steal it. But let me do a few more things before I restart time. Where is this man at? Oh, there he is. Excuse me, Grumpy Pants.
Name's Rufius. Better watch your step.
About your rheumatism.
What business is that of yours?
I figured out a treatment. Eat a pinch of this willow bark and you should feel better in no time.
Willow bark? And this will work? Oh, thank God. Finally, some relief. This is what I've been praying for.
Fortune smile.
Maybe God hasn't abandoned me after all. Thank you. I've been in a lot of pain lately. The rheumatism, these cursed statues always watching, and the crisis of faith. It was too much. Started messing with my head. This is exactly what I needed to set it straight again. I owe you one. Can't talk long. Got to stay sharp, but family's from Seleucia on Tigris, Babylon province. But I've been roaming a long time now. Even joined the legions. The 6th. The one they call Ironclads.
How did you end up here?
Not sure. I was fighting with the 6th against Parthians in the east. Only my whole body was aching every time I took a swing of my gladius. It was the rheumatism. Relentless. Unending. Of course, I wasn't going to get any sympathy from my commander. So I started thinking, what if, in the next battle, I just didn't try as hard, you know? What if I let my guard down just long enough? Next battle came, and all I remember is this bloody great savage coming toward me. And I just loosened my grip, and then nothing. I woke up by the river. Some strange man in an eagle headdress had fished me out. Kamut Tabal, I think he called himself. Then I found this place, and that's it.
That's odd. Most of the others were in Rome before they woke up in the forest, but you're saying you were in the east?
Are you calling me a liar? I've just opened up to you and you're doubting me to my face? Well, I won't make that mistake again.
That's not what I said, sir. Get back here.
I have nothing to say to you, kaput murder.
Hey! You know what? Fine. I guess I'll have to restart time to talk to him again. Alright, so one more thing we're gonna do is climb this way. We have to watch something and then I'm gonna go steal the medicine and then we're gonna run for it.
Salve, friend. I'm Octavia. Welcome to life under the Golden Rule. It's a ghastly thing, is it not? How are you faring so far?
I'm fine.
Ah, another stoic, perhaps. We all need something to help us through times like these. We've all been where you are now. I remember when I first arrived. I used to lay awake at night contemplating the big questions. Why am I here? Is there a way out? What is the Golden Rule, and who or what is responsible for it? I still don't have any of the answers, I'm afraid. I don't think anybody does. But I'm happy to share with you what I've learned. Here, in this place, the magistrate has me earning my keep by cleaning and pruning the gardens. It's not quite how I expected my life to go. I used to live in a lovely villa on the banks of the Tiber. I was even betrothed to a handsome young man from a prominent family. But long hours of menial labor for the good of the community has its own charms too, I suppose.
How did you end up here?
Oh, much the same way as many of the others. When the fires came to Rome 7 months ago, my family and I fled for the Tiber, hoping to escape on a barge. We were among the fortunate ones with enough coins for passage, but unfortunately, there were a lot of desperate people, and they boarded before we could depart. A scuffle broke out, and I was pushed overboard. The last thing I remember was the water, rising up to hit my cheekbone. I woke up by the river, near that shrine, and stumbled across this place.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, that's all right. I'm sure it's all part of God's plan for me.
Fair enough.
If you like. All right, well, it was lovely to meet you. I look forward to getting to know you better over the coming months. And if you ever...
I can't believe this is how it ends.
Oh no.
We will be able to save him later. We will be able to save him later.
Orpheus, what are you doing? Get back from there. If you lose your balance, you'll fall.
That's the idea.
What? Why? Why would you want that?
Why do you think I'm stuck for the rest of my life working for a man who treats me like an animal?
I know things are hard for you right now. They're hard for all of us. We're all in this together, Ulpius. Please just think this through. If you do this, it could be the sin that seals all of our fates. Is that what you want?
I'm sorry, but I just don't care anymore.
Please, Ulpius. Help him. If he goes through with it, it could be the end for us all. I don't know what to do. I've never had to deal with this sort of thing. Please, you need to talk to him.
All right.
Thank you. And please, choose your words carefully.
Ulpius, can we talk?
Let me guess. You're going to lecture me on how suicide is a crime against the Empire.
I was just gonna ask you, like, what's wrong?
I screwed up my life. That's what's wrong. I borrowed money, and when I couldn't pay it back, I wound up in debt bondage. I'll be stuck slaving away for that Culus Cumulatis Malleolus for the rest of my life. I am out. Wherever you are, Scintilla, my love, I'm sorry.
Ulpius, no! I can't believe he went through with it. Oh Lord. That poor lamb.
His suicide didn't break the golden rule. What does that mean?
Well, I suppose it means suicide isn't a sin under the Golden Rule. So I guess that means whichever god is responsible for it. It isn't mine.
What happens now?
I'll have to let everyone know what's happened. And I guess Malleolus will have to clean up the mess in his villa. It's of his own making, after all. And I'd best pray for poor Ulpius.
Thank you. Thank you. I am delighted and deeply honored to have been elected your magistrate. Magistrate, is it?
Did you just leap into my villa from the balcony 100 feet above? That was either extremely reckless or impressively clever. Well, why have you risked life and limb to see me?
What's your story?
I'm Malleolus, and if it wasn't for this interruption, I'd be practicing my victory speech for the election later today.
What will you do if you win?
I'm glad you asked. I'll finally restore freedom to this city, just as I've been promising. These good people have suffered long enough under Sentius's tyranny.
How will you do that?
By declaring there's no such thing as the Golden Rule. It's a children's fable exploited by Sentius to frighten us into submission. Wait, don't tell me you've fallen victim to that monstrous lie?
The golden rule is definitely real.
Nonsense. There's no way you can prove that. If it was real and you'd seen someone break it, then you'd be dead already.
What to answer? Let's see. Even if I can't prove it, if I'm right, then accepting it will avert disaster. If I'm wrong, then accepting it will make the city a better place. Isn't that a good thing?
I disagree. I'll be guided by what is best for the city's people, and that means giving them the freedom to do as they wish. True, but that is simply because you are mistaken.
Alright, so in the last part, there was the assassin looking for somebody named Quinticus. And the letter that came with it, we were looking for somebody that had one blue eye and one green eye. So this is our man. Excuse me.
My name is Marcus Malleolus Gurgis. You seem to have confused me with someone else.
You have one green eye and one blue eye, just like the description in this execution order from Emperor Nero.
You mean my heterochromia? I am guilty of nothing more than having different colored eyes. And I'm hardly the only person with the condition. Alexander the Great had it too, as it happens. I like to think it is simply the way the gods have chosen to mark a natural-born ruler. Nothing more. Well, I am not suffering from any delusions, as today's election will firmly establish.
Okay, I think I remember how to prove it to him. I can't prove it to you yet, but I will.
Unlikely, because it simply isn't true. Now, was there something else you wanted?
I'll be going now.
I trust you can see yourself out. Through the door this time. There's a key just beside it.
Thank you. I am delighted and deeply honored to have been elected your magistrate. Magistrate. Yes, yes, thank you. I'm delighted and deeply honored to be elected.
How do I get upstairs?
And now I make this solemn promise to you, good citizens. And now I make this solemn promise to you, good citizens. Under my leadership, you will finally
The hell's wrong
enjoy
with you?
the freedom you deserve. And
You're not supposed to be in here.
Can we talk?
Talk? What business could you possibly have with me?
Why are you locked in this room, first of all?
My marital affairs are no concern of yours. Thank you very much. I think a better question is, why am I being interrogated by a stranger who just barged into my villa? I have quite enough marriage trouble already, without having to explain to my husband why I'm receiving strange women in private.
Okay. How would you like some help getting back at Meliodas, then?
An intriguing proposition. Go on.
I don't think Meliel, whatever his name is who he says he is.
Perhaps you're not as silly as those clothes make you look. What makes you say that?
My clothes are silly? Excuse me. Just a hunch. I was hoping we could figure out his true identity together.
You know, I may have the very thing you're looking for. Some time ago, when he still cared for me, he wrote me a love letter. Only, he used the wrong name. Now, addressing one's wife by the wrong name is not unheard of among philandering Romans. But in this case, the name he got wrong was his own. I confronted him about it, and he stammered through some incoherent response. I let it go, eventually, and yet questions have lingered in the back of my mind ever since. But wait a minute. Why exactly are you helping me?
I think I select this one. We women have to stick together.
I couldn't agree more. One hand washes the other, as they say. It seems our interests are aligned. I imagine knowing his true identity will give me the leverage I need to manage him appropriately. But first, I need you to do something for me.
What do you want?
I want you to bring me some wine. Just one small urn should do it. Oh, don't look at me like that. I know this must be hard for you to wrap your sweet little pleb head around.
Excuse me?
So what do you need me to spell out?
Actually, I don't have any questions.
So you'll help me?
Alright, I'll get you some wine.
Excellent. Now, you'll need to pay a visit to that strumpet Aurelia in her tavern. I expect you'll have to flatter her a bit. If that doesn't work, you might be able to get some advice from Yulia, who's probably still at the shrine of Apollo. I heard they used to be close. They both appreciate the poetry of Sappho of Lesbos, if you get my meaning.
Alright.
Thank you.
Actually, I think there's a way for us to get some free wine. Maybe, if I remember where it is. And by the way, just because we restart time, we don't lose our inventory.
Oi!
So...
How did you get in there, you cheeky little Sturkus? If I cop an earful from Malleolus, I'll be coming for you.
Yeah. Buy a bottle of wine. Take.
How come you're allowed a weapon and I'm not?
Because I'm better looking than you are. Why are we still crying?
Why are you still here?
I have that wine you wanted.
Thank you. Here's the letter.
The love letter in which Malleolus accidentally acknowledges his name is Quinticus.
Now, perhaps you can tell me who Quinctius really is.
According to this bounty letter from Emperor Nero, he's the person who started the fires in Rome last year.
What? He's... Oh no. That's... quite a lot more serious than I imagined. I only wanted some leverage over him, not to destroy him. Give me that immediately. Nobody else must know.
No, I think I'm going to hang on to it.
What? No. You tricked me, you mendacious little Sturkus.
I didn't lie to you.
It was a lie of a mission. You were planning this all along and you deliberately concealed it. May Jupiter cut you down.
I'll be going now.
I curse you. I curse your life and mind and memory. May you be unable to walk or eat or drink. May this drag you to the depths. This is outrageous.
Haha. Sorry.
You again. What is it now?
I want you to withdraw from the election.
Are you insane? You barge into my villa uninvited and then make outrageous demands? Why would I withdraw from an election I'm bound to win?
Because I know you're Quinticus. Your wife gave me your love letter and Nero wants you dead.
So... it finally caught up with me. I suppose that makes you... what? One of Nero's assassins?
No, I'm not, fortunately for you.
So... you're not going to kill me?
Not if you withdraw from the election immediately and release everyone in debt bondage to you.
Oh, so much work and money. Oh, well, if I do it, you'd let me live?
I will.
Fine. Ruling this cesspit of a city would have been beneath me anyway. I'll have Domitius notify the priestess of my withdrawal and release those two from debt bondage. There, you got what you wanted. Now, please, leave my villa and never speak to me again. All right, now you've crossed the line. Get out of there.
Bye. Okay, now what were we doing? Let me check my inventory real quick. Okay. We're loaded with money. Zipline. Okay, we got this, we got this. Alright. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go steal the medicine and restart time. And then Galerius is gonna be our new best friend. Yes, I realize. We will talk to the priestess after We swipe this. Let's go.
The many shall suffer
that's
for the
loud.
sins of the one.
Gotta run, gotta run, gotta run, gotta run, gotta run. Hurry up. Alright. So now we talk to Galerius here.
Salve, friend. Mind telling me who you are and what you're doing with that bow on your back?
I'm Redden. I need you to take care of some things very urgently.
Oh, that sounds serious. I'm listening.
So every time you restart time and you figure out something new, Galerius can actually go take care of it for you. I need you to stop Fabio from entering the empty shrine until the new arrival. He'll find what he's looking for in there.
Alright, let me see. Stop Fabio going in, but send the new arrival to the empty shrine. Understood.
Rufus is becoming agitated because of his rheumatism, but if you give him some of this willow bark, he'll calm down.
Poor guy. My uncle was a victim at rheumatism's altar, and he ended up killing himself. Alright, got it.
That's it. Go.
I'll go. But once I'm done, I'll need you to tell me how you know all of this.
So he'll take care of that. And then we...
Ixion turns.
We need to run to the Shrine of Apollo and save Ulia from being...
What are you doing in here? Can't you see this woman is dying? She's been poisoned. She needs the resin of a plant called Silphium, but that Culas cubulates Decius won't give it to me.
There you go.
What? Quick, give it here. Yulia, you need to swallow this. Here, let me help you. Hopefully, in a moment, she should be able to breathe normally. That was extraordinary. How did you know she needed this exact thing, and at this exact moment? Are you some kind of oracle?
Honestly, you wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Look, if you don't want to tell me, I won't look a gift horse in the mouth. But no matter. That was like the gods hearing my prayers and intervening. You just saved a person's life, and you should be proud of yourself. She might even be able to thank you herself in a few moments. And maybe she can tell us who poisoned her, and who she meant when she was muttering about that snake's cruel black eyes. In the meantime, I'm happy to help you with whatever it is you need. That's a shame. Thanks again for saving Yulia's life. Apollo smiles upon you.
Oh, it's you. Sorry, I'm still a bit out of it. But thanks for trying to help me, I suppose. Was there something you wanted? Lucretia says I'm supposed to rest.
Can I ask what happened to you?
As much as I'm grateful that you tried to help me, It's just not safe for me to talk about it. Please, no more questions.
I want to know how someone poisoned you without breaking the Golden Rule.
The Golden Rule. That's the least of my worries. The gods may be cruel, but Malleolus and Claudia are far crueler.
Is that who poisoned you?
Please, just leave me alone. I don't want to talk about it.
I can't help unless you tell me what happened.
Persistent as Nemesis, aren't you? I can tell you, but it's a long saga.
I have all the time in the world.
All right. I'd been here about a week when it dawned on me I'd be trapped here for the rest of my life. I could hardly breathe, and I knew I had to get out somehow. So when my new friend Aurelia offered me a secret way out, I would have done anything. And then I learned her asking price. 1,000 denarii. She was supposed to be my friend. I told her it would take me years to save up that much. So she suggested I take out a loan from Malleolus. And I did.
Why would he lend you so much money?
I had to sign an agreement, saying I'd work off the debt over 30 years. But I figured I'd be out of here so soon it wouldn't matter. I paid Aurelia, and she gave me her so-called way out. Do you want to know what it was? Hemlock.
Oh no.
Drink this, she said, and you'll be out of here in no time. Of course, I demanded my money back, but she refused. She pointed to a sign on her tavern saying, "Let the buyer beware." Then she just looked at me with those cruel black eyes, and she laughed. She immediately told Malleolus I'd tried to escape without paying him back. Only, he didn't seem upset or surprised at all. In fact, he just thanked her. And that's when I realized the two of them had planned the whole thing from the beginning.
Surely that would have broken the Golden Rule?
That's what I said to the magistrate. I went to Sentius and begged for help, but he said the law was clear. I'd signed over my labor for 30 years and there was nothing he could do. I thought about resisting too. But Malleolus said if I didn't submit, I'd break the Golden Rule. And I couldn't be responsible for all those deaths, so he locked me in his villa. Confiscated everything I owned as collateral, and made me wear immodest, humiliating outfits while I worked day in, day out. His wife, Claudia, was just as bad. She set me to work on an endless stream of futile, demeaning tasks. I'd be on my hands and knees, scrubbing the floor clean for hours, only for her to pour slop on it and hiss, "You missed a spot." Those two took everything from me. But they forgot to confiscate one thing. My hemlock.
Ah, I see.
I just wanted it to be over. But it seems I messed that up too. Should have drunk all of it.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I brought it on myself. I trusted one of the most callous human beings I've ever met, and tried to swindle the other. I don't know how I could have been so stupid.
So what'll happen to you now?
When I've recovered, I expect their thug Domitius will come for me. He'll escort me back to their villa, and I'll be right back where I started. Only this time, I won't be able to lull myself to sleep at night with the thought of a permanent solution. Honestly, it would have been better if the poison had been allowed to run its course.
I'm sorry, can I do anything to help?
I doubt it. It seems this is the fate the gods have chosen for me, for trying to escape.
Aw.
At least until someone breaks the golden rule. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad.
I have a better idea. How much would it cost to buy your freedom?
A lot. But it doesn't matter. I made a suicide pact with Ulpius last night. He's in exactly the same position as I am. Malleolus and Aurelius set the same trap for him a month after they did it to me. He and I are in this together. He's probably already thrown himself from the bluff into Malleolus's villa by now. If so, I'd never be able to live with myself, knowing I broke my promise to him.
Perhaps I can help him too?
I doubt you could make it up to the bluff in time. I don't know who you are, or why you seem so determined to help me, but... thank you.
Alright, I'll get on it.
May Apollo keep you safe.
Yes, 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 yes.
Citizen.
So we gotta save her, then go tell him, and have them released from debt bondage. I think we're doing this in the right order.
Salve,
I don't
friend.
want to talk to you.
I'm Octavia. Welcome to life under the Golden Rule. It's a ghastly thing, is it not? How are you faring so far? All right, well, it was lovely to meet you. I look forward to getting to know you better over the coming months. And if you ever...
I can't believe this is how it ends.
Oh no. No. No, 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 no. Ulpius, what are you doing? Get back from there. If you lose your balance, you'll fall.
That's the idea.
What? Why? Why would you want that?
Why do you think I'm stuck for the rest of my life working for a man who treats me like an animal?
I know things are hard for you right now. They're hard for all of us. We're all in this together, Ulpius. Please, please just think this through. If you do this, it could be the sin that seals all of our fates. Is that what you want?
I'm sorry, but I just don't care anymore.
He just
Please,
doesn't care
Ulpius.
anymore.
Help him. If he goes through with it, it could be the end for us all. I don't know what to do. I've never had to deal with this sort of thing. Please, you need to talk to him. Thank you. And please, choose your words carefully.
Is this what Scintilla would want?
You know about that? How is that possible? I mean, I've never mentioned it to anyone.
You'd never believe me if I told you.
Well, if you say so. You don't understand. I don't want to hurt anyone. I just want it all to be over.
Maybe I can help solve your problem.
It's too late for that. Yulia and I made a pact. And she's already swallowed hemlock this morning. If I backed out now, I'd be betraying her. I can't do that.
I've already saved Ulia's life, and I'd like to help you too.
Oh, really? That changes things a little. But we're still in debt bondage to that monster. Unless you happen to have 2,000 denarii to pay off both of our debts.
Actually, I do. I'm rolling in some denarii right now.
Really? Wait. So, I guess you'd want me to work for you then?
No, you'd be free.
You'd do that for us? A couple of complete strangers?
Of course.
It seems today we're both blessed. This did not turn out how I thought. Thank you, friend. I never thought people like you existed.
Here's your
Thank
money.
you. I'll go and pay off our debts immediately. I just wish there was some way I could repay you. But I have nothing but the tunic on my back.
Don't worry about that.
I'll go and take care of things with Malleolus and tell Yulia the good news. Thanks again, friend. I'll never forget what you did for us.
Until I restart time, and then you'll have forgotten it all. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, now that we've done that, let's see what else.
Salve, friend.
I'm so glad you didn't go through with it.
It wasn't for lack of trying. And now Malleolus is going to... Wait. Why do you look so happy?
We're free.
I don't even know where they are.
Just released us and we never have to set foot.
Let's go talk to Fabio. We haven't talked to Fabio yet.
What? How?
The newcomer arranged it somehow.
Shiny.
Really? That's...
Salve and welcome.
Incredible.
Need something?
Oh, what a relief.
What's your story?
Oh, there's not much to tell. I mostly just bake bread and try to help out where I can. I suppose it all started about 8 months ago. I was living in Rome with my family when I got sick. Terrible timing. My pa had just arranged a husband for me. A fisherman's son. I was about to meet him for the first time when I came down with an awful fever. I spent the next week in bed. Pa paid priests to make offerings to Asclepius, a white rooster, then a goat. But nothing worked. In the end, they decided I'd do better outside the city. Clean air in the countryside would do me good, they said. But after about a day in a carriage on the Appian Way, I was getting worse, not better. I remember closing my eyes for a bit, and I guess I must have fell asleep, because when I opened them again, I was in a forest, by a river. I suppose the driver took off with his fee and left me for dead. Can't say I blame him. I wouldn't have wanted to catch what I had either. Anyway, I went searching for help, stumbled across the trapdoor temple, and here I am.
That's odd. Most of the others were in Rome before they woke up in the forest, but you're saying you were a day's ride away?
Oh, yeah. I suppose you're right. Hadn't really thought about it. But the gods are mysterious and powerful. Who knows what their plans are for us? Terrible shame, that is. Maybe this'll help. Late last night, I was cleaning my oven when I heard some noises outside. The forum's usually dead quiet at that hour, so I came out to see what was going on. To be honest, I thought maybe poor old Dooley had got out of his cell and was snooping around
Dooley
again. So I popped my head out and saw someone in front of Virgil's shop. I couldn't tell who. It was too dark. I called out to them, but they just turned and ran off without a word. All I remember is they ran past a lit torch, and the light glinted off something metallic. Armor, I think. So I suppose it could only be one of 3 people. Horatius, Domitius, or Rufius. I hope that helps.
Thanks, that does help.
All right. Thanks again for taking care of our problem. I won't forget it.
Hey, you.
Citizen. Name's Rufius. Better watch your step.
Okay, so I'm going to ask him what his story is again and do the correct answer.
Can't talk long. Got to stay sharp, but family's
we can
from
skip.
Solution.
We can skip.
Much.
Skip. Thanks for sharing your story.
That's all right. It just feels good to finally tell someone about it. Thanks for listening.
Are you the one threatening Virgil?
No idea what you're talking about?
I know it was you?
Yeah? Prove it.
Who are you going to vote for?
Sentius, military man, knows what he's doing. Fine. See you around.
How to prove... I forgot how to prove that he's the one that did it. Oh, I gotta go investigate his house.
Ah, a new face. I hear we have you to thank for saving Julia's life. I'm glad you arrived when you did. Nice to talk to you.
Ah, a fellow traveler from a faraway land.
I'll go this way. Oh. Hey, you.
Shalom.
What's your story?
You mean where am I from and all that? Judea, originally. But when I was a child, I moved to Rome with my family, Romanized my name, and spent most of my life in the Jewish district of Trans-Tiberim, across the Tiber from the main city. That's where I was when the fires broke out. Everyone was running toward the river, and I, listening to my inner contrarian, ran the other way. Every road leading out of Rome was in chaos, full of people with all their belongings in carts, and brigands preying on them. Several hours down the Appian Way, I saw another Jewish family being attacked by 3 opportunists. So I picked up a branch from the side of the road and went to defend them. I can only assume they got the better of me, because the next thing I knew, I was waking up in a forest, by a river not far from here, with no memory of how I got there. It's strange though, because I still had my purse on me. Why would a robber knock me unconscious and throw me in a river, but not take my coins?
Sad most of the others were in Rome before they woke up in the forest, but you're saying you were several hours away?
You're right. I always just assumed the river carried me, but I'm not sure I was anywhere near the Tiber when I fell. I'm sure it'll all make sense if we ever get out of here.
Alright.
Alright, friend. Thanks for the chat.
I would rather drink Aurelia's special brew. Haha. Looks like someone has been hard at work on a prototype zipline. I think this is Galerius's chest. A poem by Galerius. My life has been tortuous as the 7 labors of Hercules. Orphaned, defeated, and enslaved, yet I would suffer it all again gladly, because each lost wound and tragedy brought me to you, radiant as Rome's sacred flame. Your bright warmth nourishes my soul. I know I can never touch you any more than hold Vesta's flame, but to watch and love you from afar, bathing in your glow, is enough. To the next page. To an unspecified woman. This is Horatius's chest. No, we're not going to steal. Type of Roman shield.
Cerberus lifts his triple head and
Yes,
lets
yes,
out
yes.
his threefold braying.
Livia, would you stop muttering like Medea over a cauldron? You'll scare away my customers.
Kabash
They
to
follow their
Kabash?
traits, imitating their previous lives, but they
I
are
told Lucrezia about the dreams I've been having, and she said it might help her divine their meaning if I wrote them down. It happened again last night. The man by the river was there, as always, his face shrouded in shadow from that peculiar ram headdress. Once again, he introduced himself as Kerti, and told me he dragged me from the river. He seemed to smirk as he said his name, as if it meant something I could not understand. Indeed, the name rings a bell, but I cannot for the life of me remember where I heard it. I do not think I will sleep soundly again until I know. Who is Kirti? Okay, so this is a room of somebody we haven't met yet. Thanks. Creepy statues, thanks. Whose room is this? Rufus's chest. Incomplete note. This is your final warning, sinner. A phallic charm thought by Romans to have divine protective properties. Oh, you gotta love ancient Rome. What does this say? Theophilus had an orgy with 4 and disappointed all of them equally. Okay. Dice Tower.
Ixion turns.
Yes, we'll get to you later. Wait. What quest are we on? Oops. Sorry, I pushed the wrong button. Alright, let's go find Rufus. He might be back over here by the forum. Where'd he go? Oh. I did not do it.
How much would you want to make me a bow?
This poor guy. I feel so sorry for him.
Hello?
What's your story?
My name's Dooley. I live here now because I got in trouble and they said they had to lock me up.
What did you do?
I don't know. I don't remember things so good. I think it's just because I was looking for treasure.
Did somebody think you were going to steal?
Yes. But I wasn't. I was just looking.
Is that all?
They said I did it. More than once. But I can't remember things so good. Then they called me mean names. They called me a liar, Billy.
Aw. A liability?
Yes. They said I have to live here now, and gave me this letter. But I'm not good with words. Do you? You think you could read it for me?
Alright, magistrate sentenced to Dulius. I'm writing you... Let me start over. I am writing to you in relation to your incorrigible and antisocial behavior arising from your obsession with an alleged lost treasure. While I am sympathetic to your plight and the passing of your guardian Hannibal some weeks ago, I wish to impress upon you an important message. The treasure you seek does not exist. Given your memory limitations, it seems likely you simply misremembered. More importantly, since you have on several occasions been caught trespassing, including around the cisterns, which are strictly off-limits to all citizens, I have reluctantly come to the conclusion that you are a liability to this community and must have your freedom limited lest you break the golden rule. It is my hope that this letter will assist you to remember why you are incarcerated, should you experience further lapses in your memory.
What does it say?
It says they caught you trespassing several times and they locked you up to stop you breaking the golden rule.
My treasure!
What treasure?
My friend Hannibal used to look after me. He said he always would. But then, he died. It was very sad. He said, if anything ever happened to him, I had to find something very precious hidden away. He gave me this key and made me promise to keep it safe until I found the treasure. But I couldn't find it. All I remember is he said something about the cisterns, but when I went up to the high one, they put me in here. Now nobody looks after me, except my friend Galerius and Ek, the priestess lady. She's a nice lady.
If you give me the key, I can try to find out what it unlocks.
Hannibal said I shouldn't give it to anyone I didn't trust. But maybe you could help me get out of here. Then I would trust you a lot.
Let me talk to the magistrate about getting you out of here.
Galerius already tried that. He said the magistrate wouldn't listen, no matter what.
Maybe it's time we had a new magistrate.
Like Galerius? He's nice. I like Galerius. He made me a doll and everything. If you help make him magistrate, he can get me out of here, and I can give you the key to my treasure. Hannibal said it was in the cisterns. I can't remember what it was, just that it was way up high and very precious.
Alright, I'll see what I can do.
Bye-bye. Hello. Have we met before?
I'll be going now. I must have pushed a button. Okay, I also need that stone tablet that's behind him, so we are gonna eventually have to get Galerius nominated. And free him, and then go from there.
Salve again, friend. I went and did as you asked, and it worked. How is it possible that you've just arrived here and you already know everyone and exactly what's about to happen to them?
Well, let me tell you. I'm reliving the same day over and over again.
You're toying with me, right? Wait, you're not kidding, are you? That's the only way you could have known. You're a bit like... Oh, what was his name? Sisyphus. Yeah, that's the one. Old King Sisyphus.
Remind me who that is?
Sisyphus was a Greek king a long time ago. For daring to think he could outsmart the gods, he was given a terrible punishment. He was forced to push a great boulder up to the top of a hill. Only, just as it reached the top, it would roll all the way back down to the bottom, forcing him to start over and over and over again, for all eternity. Just like you. Actually, now that I think about it, there are a bunch of old stories about the gods punishing people by making them do the same futile task over and over. Tantalus was made to grasp at fruit on a tree he could never quite reach. The Pleiades had to keep fetching water in a sieve. Oh, and Ixion was strapped to a wheel going round and round forever. But on the bright side, at least you're not stuck in the underworld like they all were. Anyway, I don't know which god you managed to upset to get yourself into this position, friend, but you seem all right to me. So, I'll tell you what. I'll keep doing whatever I can to help you. And you just focus on finding a way to break the cycle you're in.
He's so nice. You're a good man.
Oh.
You're a good man, Galerius.
That's kind of you to say. Now, I'm going to keep your secret. Although, it's not as if I'll remember this next time we talk anyway, right? Oh, and if our conversations ever start to annoy you, just tell me you're busy. I know when I'm not wanted. May fortune smile on you, friend.
Okay, well, come back here so I can talk to you.
Salve again, my Sisyphean friend. Now, what's on your mind?
Ever thought about running for magistrate?
I've bounced the idea around once or twice, mainly as a way of getting Dooley set free. God knows Sentius is never going to do it. But from what I hear, Malleolus has the election stitched up. Nobody's going to take him on and win. And maybe that's not such a bad thing. I mean, he talks a lot about freedom, so I'm hoping if he's elected, he'll release Dooley from his cell. And that's good enough for me.
I don't think Malleolus is going to help Dooley.
And how could you know that? I mean, I don't like the man, but I don't see how you could know a thing like that.
You're right, never mind.
I bounced the idea.
Why is Dooley in a cell?
Because Sentius put him there. Poor Dooley was just wandering around looking for some imaginary treasure. Now a magistrate accused him of being a thief. It's nonsense, of course. Dooley's the most harmless man you'll ever meet. But Sentius really has it in for him, for some reason. Gladly. All right, friend. Hope you find a way to break that cycle you're in.
Oops. Wrong button. My bad. Okay, so I still got that. And actually, what was I gonna do? Oh. You, come here.
You again. No idea what you're talking about?
I know it was you. I found an incomplete letter to him in your quarters.
Look, I haven't been at my best lately. I know that. It's the rheumatism. It starts with constant pain in all your joints. Then the pain starts to mess with your head. Makes you angry, mean. I know that's not an excuse for how I acted. But it's the truth. But with the willow bark, I'm already starting to feel like myself again. I'll leave him alone from now on. It's not as if I was ever going to hurt him anyway. I was just lashing out. I'm going to go and clean up the graffiti. Just forget this ever happened. Will you?
All right. As long as you realize your mistake, sir.
Sometimes I stare at the great temple on the bluff, and I think, whatever is in... Welcome back.
Don't worry about your threats. It's just Rufius, and he's never going to hurt you again.
What demon or spirit told you about that?
I found an incomplete note in his house.
You went snooping in his place? That was risky. We're lucky you didn't cross any lines. Have you spoken to him about it?
Yes, and he won't be bothering you anymore.
Really? How did you manage that?
I found a treatment for his rheumatism, which was making him agitated and compounding some other personal issues.
Poor fellow. I've heard that can really mess with a person's head. Well done for figuring that out.
Happy to help. I think he wants to help clean up his graffiti, too.
Really? That's promising. I'll keep an eye out for him. Nice to talk to you.
See, there he goes. He's gonna go clean it up.
A new face. Ave, and may Vesta watch over you. I'm Equitia. To what do I owe the pleasure of this visit?
I've been asking people about how they wound up here, trying to find a pattern.
Interesting. I'm not sure why you're telling me, but you've come to the right person. Did you find a pattern then? What have you noticed?
People mentioned a coin.
Yes, I suppose that could be something. But then most of us do tend to carry coins on our person, don't we? What else?
Some people mentioned a river.
Yes. I understand many of our friends were carried here by a river current. What else?
Some people mentioned an encounter with a stranger on the riverbank.
Yes. I also had such an encounter. It's as I feared. I think I understand what poor Livia has been going through. Let me ask you this. Did you happen to encounter a stranger in the forest before you arrived here?
I did, a young woman.
And did you happen to catch her name?
Karen.
I see. And was this Karen, by any chance, wearing a hood?
She was wearing a hoodie? How could you have known that?
Because I've seen her before. There's something I think you should see. I think you'd better follow me to the baths.
Alright, I'll meet you in the baths.
But don't follow too closely. We can't have people thinking we're bathing together.
We're ladies. Come on, this is Rome. People bathe naked together all the time. They have public bathrooms. Okay, even though I've played this game a couple times, the fact that these statues turn their head and you can hear it is still kind of unnerving.
All right, you're here. You were asking how I knew the young woman you met by the river was wearing a hood. Here, look down at the bottom of the baths. It's a little hard to make out in this light. If only we could see. Oh, what a marvelous lamp. But do you see it? Somebody waking up by a river in a forest to find a hooded figure with a coin. It's just as you described it, only your pronunciation is a little off. The name you heard wasn't Karen. It was C-H-A-R-O-N, as in Charon, the ferryman of the dead. Charon, who, in exchange for the right coin, helps the souls of the newly deceased cross the Styx, the river that separates the land of the living from the land of the dead.
When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, but all I found was some loose change. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute. Sorry if I sounded cagey, it's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I introduce myself. My name's Karen.
There are a bunch of old stories about the gods punishing people by making them do the same futile task over and over. But on the bright side, at least you're not stuck in the underworld like they all were.
I'm so sorry, my friend. I'm so sorry. I take it you know what this means.
This place is the underworld?
I'm afraid so. It's all starting to make sense. All these people whose last memory was running from the fires toward the river. It seems none of them escaped with their lives after all. Perhaps we should be grateful they don't remember their final moments. It also tells us that the Golden Rule is the work of Pluto, the god of the underworld, and why his epithet has always been Father of Riches. I know it's a lot to take in, and you look as if you have questions, so I'll try to answer them if I can.
So we're dead?
That was my first thought too. In the old stories, the underworld was where the souls of the deceased were taken. But it was also possible for the living to reach it without dying, if they were particularly fearless. So I'm afraid I don't know.
What can you tell me about Chiron?
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting you're not from here. If you were Roman, or even Greek, you would know these stories. Each of them is slightly different, whether the storyteller was Plato, Homer, Virgil, or Ovid. But they always involved the souls of the dead meeting a grim ferryman named Charon on the bank of a river. It was said that he'd help the new arrival cross, only if they could pay him with a coin, an obol. That's why it was once our custom to bury our loved ones with a coin in their mouths. Charon's obol, we called it. Of course, an obol was a kind of Greek coin, because we inherited this knowledge from the Greeks.
Why didn't you all recognize Charon immediately?
To be fair, the ferryman isn't exactly as the poets described, and he, she, they seem to appear to different people in different guises. You say you saw a young woman named Karen with a hood, and I once heard Kabash mention a stranger in a ram headdress named Kerti. And Rufius described meeting a stranger named Kumut Tabal wearing an eagle headdress. But whatever form this stranger took, they were always wearing a hood of some sort, and their name always began with a K sound. I suspect the only way you'll solve this riddle is if your paths cross again.
Why are there so few people in the underworld?
Good question. Let's see. In the stories, Charon would always require a coin as payment for passage across the river. But that never made any sense to me. What does an ancient immortal being need with coins? In our case, it seems Charon didn't take the coins we had. He or she merely checked we had one in our possession. So, maybe there's something special about the coins each of us had on us. That might explain why we wound up here, but so many others did not.
Were you trying to keep this from me?
No. I mean, I had my suspicions, especially after Livia's ramblings, but I would never have figured it out without your help, I promise you. Now that we know where we are, we have to figure out what to do about it, if we don't want to be cast into gold for eternity. We don't have much to go on, except the old stories. I remember 4 in particular about heroes in the underworld. Hercules, the demigod and son of Jupiter. Orpheus, a Thracian poet. Sisyphus, a king of Ephyra. And Aeneas, a Trojan hero. Hercules was able to leave the underworld because he cowed its god with his strength. Sisyphus and Orpheus both relied on their wits instead. They persuaded the goddess of the underworld, Proserpina, to help them escape. And finally, Aeneas was able to escape with the help of a spirit guide, who led him through a secret gate. So it seems you have two options: to confront the god of the underworld head-on, or find a way to escape with the help of Proserpina or some other guide.
I've noticed you seem uncomfortable calling the god of the underworld by his name. Why is that?
All Romans try to avoid saying it, and the reason is quite simple. He might hear us. You may refer to him as Pluto, if you wish, but you'll only be calling attention to yourself. Do so at your own peril.
Can't we just escape the way we came in?
It's a reasonable question, but the problem is, this place is fairly well designed to keep us here. There's no way to climb up the shaft. And even if you could build a ladder big enough, just trying it would break the golden rule. We know that, thanks to the writings left behind by those who've tried.
Tell me more about confronting Pluto head-on.
Shh! Is everyone so blunt where you're from? Oh. That option would be the boldest, but also the only way to learn the truth about the Golden Rule, and maybe even put an end to it. As I said, Hercules managed to overpower the god of the underworld, but he was a demigod. Forgive my candor, but you are no Hercules.
No, I'm not. Hercules couldn't manipulate time or turn organic matter into gold. I have a few tricks up my sleeve.
I'll admit, you do seem different to anyone I've ever met. And even that lamp of yours looks like something Prometheus might have stolen from the gods. So, if you want to confront him, I'll help you as much as I can. Who knows? Perhaps your name will be uttered in the same sentence as Hercules one day. But first, you'd need an audience with you-know-who, and for that,
he ain't no
you'll
Voldemort
need to
now.
enter the great temple overlooking the city. The problem is, the door has been sealed shut for as long as I've lived here, and there doesn't even seem to be a keyhole. I suspect the answer lies in the desecrated obelisk in front of it. I'm not sure if you noticed, but there are 4 plaques missing from its base. It looks as though somebody, or a series of somebodies, forcibly removed them, and in doing so, dishonored and angered our divine keeper. If you could recover and replace all 4 of those missing plaques, I imagine he might be willing to receive an audience again.
Just, a small task.
It's the towering stone monument with 4 sides and a pyramid-shaped head that stands before the great temple, a dedication to the god of this place. You'll find them all over Rome, but of course they were looted from Egypt many years ago. It seems one of them made its way here too, although how is a mystery. However, this one is unusual in that each of the 4 sides is decorated in a different style: Roman, Greek, Egyptian, and another I don't recognize. That means you'll need to recover 4 different plaques: Roman, Greek, Egyptian, and a 4th, a mystery plaque.
Where would I find the Roman plaque?
Good question. To answer that, we first need to ask who would have defaced the obelisk in the first place. It would have had the god's name engraved into it, so it may be that whoever desecrated it wanted that name to be forgotten. And there's only one group of people I know of who might want to do that. There's a cult in Rome that often argued there is only one true god. Theirs, of course. They've been known to start fires, as well as deface religious monuments whose existence challenged their beliefs. If I were you, I'd go looking for them. Of course, they've all been in hiding since the fire last year, so finding them won't be easy. But I did hear a rumor they have a secret shrine somewhere in the city. Perhaps, if you could find that, you might be able to recover the Roman plaque.
Okay.
I don't know. But perhaps you should begin your search with the local Greek fellow, Georgius. His store is in the Forum.
I think the Greek plaque is behind Dooley.
Perhaps Kabash, our Egyptian resident, would be able to tell us. Unfortunately, he disappeared weeks ago. But I did hear Aurelia is peddling rumors about him at the tavern, so perhaps you could talk to her, or just take a look in his room. I'm afraid you're on your own with that one, but perhaps finding the other three will illuminate the way.
Tell me more about escaping with the help of Proserpina or a guide.
As I mentioned, both Orpheus and Sisyphus were said to have persuaded Proserpina to help them escape, and Aeneas was guided to the exit. The problem is, those are the stories of a poet, a self-aggrandizing king, and a brawler about their own heroic deeds, so they should be taken with a grain of salt. First, Proserpina. What we do know about her is, well, it's a grim tale. It's said the god of the underworld abducted and dragged her here against her will, forcing her into marriage.
So she might be willing to work against him to help us?
If the stories are true, then I suppose so. The problem is, how do we communicate with her without being noticed by her captor? Leaving that aside for a moment, there is also the possibility of a spirit guide. I don't suppose you've come across one of those in your travels?
I hear the female statues whispering to me every now and then.
Truly? And you're only bringing this up now? Then again,
yeah,
I
it sounds
suppose
kind
you
of
were
crazy.
worried I'd think you were as mad as Navia. Can you tell me more? Is it the same voice? What kinds of thing does it say?
It's always the same voice, and she's helpful, if a little cryptic.
Fascinating. Perhaps she is a benevolent spirit. Or perhaps... Perhaps you're hearing the voice of Proserpina herself. If she has indeed been abducted, it would make sense for her to speak in cryptic whispers to avoid detection. Tell me, has she told you anything that might lead you to the way out?
Not yet.
Oh, I see. Well, let me know if you hear anything that might be a thread through this labyrinth.
Alright, I'm ready to get started.
Alright. I would suggest not discussing this with anyone. The best we can do for them is to let them remain oblivious for as long as possible. As for Livia, it seems she's been shouldering the weight of this terrible secret all this time. Perhaps it would comfort her to know she's not alone.
I'll have a chat with Livia first.
In any case,
she needs a friend.
Time is of the essence, so you'd best begin. May Fortuna guide you. Although you may not need her with Proserpina on your side.
Don't know how the flashlight's working underwater, but it is. I think I'm gonna go talk to Livia. Give her a little bit of comfort.
Oh, it's you again. Is everything all right?
Do you know anything about Scintilla's disappearance?
No. I did hear from Ulpius that she disappeared. It's very sad. She was such a lovely young woman. But I'd been locked in Malleolus's villa for months before she went missing, so I can't help you, I'm afraid.
Fair enough.
You mean my life story? Oh, well, I grew up as part of a big family in Rome. Me and 3 older sisters. Our father found good husbands for my sisters, but I wasn't, cut out for that kind of life. So he found me a job as a scribe for a prominent merchant. It was a good life for a while. Until 7 months ago when the fires came. My colleagues and I worked desperately to try to protect our warehouse. We must have had 100 workers passing buckets of water, chanting prayers to Vulcan, but they fell on deaf ears. The fire was relentless, and it claimed everything. And everyone. Well, almost everyone. My employer told me to grab what valuables I could and flee for the Tiber, with the crowds. I remember diving into the river, and then... the next thing I knew, I was waking up on the riverbank not far from here.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you. I consider myself fortunate. At least I'm still alive. All right. Thank you again for saving my life.
Just tell them a day's work.
Salve!
Alright, come here, crazy lady.
The 49 melodies fetch again with incessant labor, just as the ocean accepts the rivers of all the world. So this place accepts all the souls, but it does not notice the crowds that come.
I figured it out. I know where we are.
Say it. Speak its name.
The underworld.
Then it is true? I was right?
You were.
I thought I saw it, but when the rest of them could not, I kept thinking I must have gone insane. I had to tell myself it was true over and over again, until I wasn't sure if I was deceiving myself. I must apologize if my words seemed cryptic. I'd found comfort in reciting the Metamorphoses by our great poet Ovid. He gives such an uncanny description of this place. I cannot help but wonder if he himself came here. Would you like to hear it?
Sure.
I will do my best to remember the relevant verse. There is a downward path, gloomy with fatal yew trees. It leads through dumb silence to the infernal regions. The sluggish Styx exhales vapor, and by that way, the shadows of the newly dead descend, entombed with full rites, and the ghosts of those, at last, given proper burial. The wide, thorny waste is cold and pallid, and the newly arrived shades are ignorant of the road that leads to the Stygian city, where Black Dis has his cruel palace. As the ocean accepts the rivers of all the world, so this place accepts all the souls, and is never too small for any populace, nor notices the crowds that come. There the bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone. Some crowd the forum, some the house of the ruler of the depths. Others follow their trades, imitating their previous lives, and still others incur punishment. I hope I have done it justice, and now we share a secret. It's as if you've lifted a great burden from my shoulders. Thank you, friend. I think I should rest.
Oh, poor lady.
Beautiful. Ah, you're here. I'm so glad
I haven't talked to her
decided
this
visit.
time, Luke.
I'm Aurelia. And, I hope I'm not being too forward, but the moment I laid eyes on you, I was intrigued. There's something dangerous about you, like a prowling manticore.
That's nice. Don't waste your breath. I know you're a horrible person.
How dare you? Get away from me, you pig.
Oh, I guess I should have said something else so I could get some gossip, but I'll just come back again. Alright. Let's see, where is... Nope. Yep. Can I take that? No. Carving of a lion. It's definitely not Roman. Alright, so I think I messed up a couple things, so I need to restart time. So I just need to go grab something. By the way, this game has 4 different endings, but I think I'm going to set everything up to do the canon ending before we do absolutely everything else. So... Oh, I remember. Go get me some more money! Money, money, money! Not that I need it. Steal.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Run, 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 run! Run, 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 run! Hurry up. By the way, since I've played through this already, there's actually an achievement for stealing money for this game. So if you download it, there's an achievement for that. Alright, here we go. And I think at this point, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night because it is 12:30 where I am. And I'm going to go ahead and save here. And I will be back tomorrow. Hopefully we can get through enough to get to the canon ending. And maybe if we have enough time, we'll do the other the other 3 endings because those don't take very long. Alright, so thank you guys for joining, and have a good night. See you tomorrow.